Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. I've got a battle report for you. So I know I've been in kind of a long hiatus from playing games. No, nothing really against Warhammer Fantasy, just life has been that way. But I was able to get a couple games in the other night. They're both 3,000 points. We're preparing for Brawler Bash, the grand tournament. So my Bretonnians versus an Orc and Goblin army. In Brawler Bash, you get points for killing stuff. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It doesn't matter. All that matters is how aggressive you can be and kill stuff the other guy has. So if it's a 3,000 point game, you can get 3,000 points if you kill everything he has on the table. But usually there's other ways to get up to 5,000 points. So in this game, you can get 500 points for killing his general, and you can get 1,000 points if at the end of the game you have a unit with fortitude within 6 inches of that marker in the center of the table. And then of course you can get another few hundred points from banners and stuff like that. So let's review the list. Starting on the far right, he's got some Wolf Riders, a Mangler Squig, a Rock Lava. There on the left, he's got a unit of, I believe, 30 Night Goblins with Archers. And in with them, he has, I think, a level 1 Scroll Caddy. He's got a Goblin Big Boss and a Wolf right next to that. Another Rock Lava behind it. Level 1 all by himself, a Wolf Chariot. There in the front left, he's got another unit of Wolf Riders. Then he's got his obligatory unit of 40 Savage Orc Biggins with extra Choppa. In with them, he's got the Savage Orc Shaman, which gives him the Lucky Shrunken Head, which is a 5 award. Behind that unit, you can barely see it, but he's got a Doom Diver. Then he's got a small bunker of Night Goblins, and attached to them is his Battle Standard Bearer. He's got some Orc Boys with a banner. I think they have the Flaming Banner. There's another Mangler Squig. Behind him, 18 Trolls with Gary Busey as their spirit anima. Then there's another Doom Diver to the left of that, and another Wolf Chariot, and some more Wolf Riders. So it seems to me that this is a brutal list. Just because he's got 2 units that's going to be tough to get points out of. Those 18 Trolls, I don't have a lot of ways to deal with them. I do have a Flaming Banner. If I can charge in there, do enough wounds, and just beat him through static combat res, that's my best chance. But that's not easy. And then he's got his horde of Savage Orcs with his general that has the Crown of Command. So it's tough. It's tough to do more wounds to them, and if you do beat him through static combat res, he's going to be stubborn. So that's rough. And his Doom Divers are just awful. I mean, just for a Bretonnia, they're just awful because they kill knights so easily. So the deployment rules is you had to have at least 2 units. It's kind of like where you randomly deploy in each, left 18 inches, right 18 inches, or the middle. Ours didn't have to be random, but you did have to have 2 units on either side. And I forgot about that when I was deploying until the end. So here on the left, I've got a unit of knights with the Banner of Swiftness. I've got some bowmen. I'm kind of concerned because he's got 3 units and a character. I didn't realize when I was deploying that he'd have a character that could also vanguard, and of course he's going to go first. So they can vanguard and then move like 18 inches. So I've got bowmen here trying to protect me from that. Then I've got bowman of the woods, trebuchet behind it. I have one of my paladin is there out by himself because if it wasn't for him, he could take his Wolf Riders, vanguard 12, move 18, and be right in front of that trebuchet. Huge unit of men-at-arms, 69 of them with my level 2. Another unit of knights. This one has the Flaming Banner. Let's show it. They've got the Flaming Banner and then 3 characters. So my BSB's in there. I've got a Combat Lord. He's not my general. And a Paladin with Lance and Shield. Then I've got the Standard Discipline unit. This has my general. He's my typical build with the Virtue of Heroism. Another trebuchet, and then a unit of 5 Knights Errant. And they just have a musician. And they're all the way back because, again, he's got a unit that can vanguard and then march. So he vanguards up like that. And there's the left. And then, of course, he gets to go first. So overall, it looks like that. So he's got a Mangler Squig in the far right top corner that's just kind of hanging out up there. And then he has another one right here in the middle of the table. I think I'm just going to have to sacrifice a Paladin to take out the Mangler Squig. I think it's just the only way to really deal with it. I can't get enough wounds on it through my bowman, and I don't want to waste a trebuchet on it. So he was able to move that character out of line of sight of my knights errant. I get tired of making mistakes like that because all I'd have to do is angle those guys a little bit more. That wouldn't be a problem. But again, when I was deploying, I never think about characters being able to vanguard. Yeah, it's just another shot in the middle, and then here on the far left. I wasn't worried about this unit getting out of my line of sight. My plan here is to take this unit of knights and go to the left of the house and then just shoot at the wolf riders. If I can do 2 wounds to them, then they'll panic and hopefully run off the board. Yeah, so then his Doom Divers open up. Oh my gosh! So he doesn't like my unit with the flaming banner because he knows that I put a general or my lord level non-general in there for a reason. If I can get into combat with his trolls, he should be able to do a wound, and then everybody else can do wounds, and I'll have a chance. So he's just picking on that unit, just obliterates it. Bretonnia turn 1. Yeah, so for the most part, I move up like that. I took the paladin out of my battle standard bearers unit and used him to take care of the mangler squig because he was slightly cheaper than the other paladin. So let's see here on the left, I just moved my knights errant around so he can charge me, but he can't get an easy charge into my trebuchet. There's a few of the middle. Here on the left, like I said, I'm just marching up. I mean, he's got a chariot over there, but he's not facing me. And the mistake I made here was it never occurred to me that his orc boar riders could see me and could get an easy flank charge. I don't know what I was thinking there. And I think I had plenty of movement. I could have, swerved to the left a little bit, then come back around. Regardless, that's what I did. Shooting at these wolf riders in the middle of the table, I kill a single one. I shoot the ones on the left, and I only do 1 wound. If I did 2 wounds, he would have had to take a panic test. That's what I was hoping for, but that wasn't to be. So I think they're mounted and certainly have a shield, and they might even have a light armor. They had a pretty good, I think they have like a 4-up save. So this is a little bit heartbreaking. So I target trebuchets on this Doom Diver because it's right in the middle of its stuff. So if I hit it, great, and if I veer off, I can hit other stuff. And I hit it and wound it, and then only do 2 wounds. So he's still perfectly capable of rocking my world. That was a real bummer. Orc Goblin turn 2. It looks like this. The big news is if you look at the unit of goblins on the right hand side that charged my knights, he failed animosity and had to charge me. Here in the lower right, yeah, so not only did his goblin wolf rider character charge my knights errant, but so did his fast calf. So I think he's going to win that. If nothing else, even if he can't get a wound through, I'm not likely to wound him because my guys suck. And if he wins by a charge, I'm holding leadership 7. I'll be on a 6, and he'll probably win. This one is actually kind of nice because I think I should win this, and I should be able to run him down, and then that gives me a lot of options. So on my turn, for instance, I could charge a war machine or his wolf rider, win combat, and just get safely off the table. And if I can move some redirectors up later, I could come back on the table relatively safely and be behind his lines. So pretty happy with that, actually. Yeah, so his cavalry charges me in the flank. The one thing, he's going to have a charge, a flank, a rear flank. So he's starting off static ground at res 4. So he's almost certainly going to win, but I'll be steadfast. So the only question here, really, it doesn't matter how many wounds he does. It's just, can I pass my steadfast roll? So his Doom Divers continue to pick on this Flaming Banner unit and get them down to I only have my champion and a standard bearer and 2 characters left. So that's getting real dangerous. He's going to start being able to pick off characters. Matter of fact, already he's aiming his rock lobbas at him because I don't get lookout stirs anymore. After combat, I was really surprised. My Knights Errant actually won against his fast cav and his character. Now, what I decided to pursue is fast cav because I thought it would put me in a position where on my turn I could march and connect with the Mangler Squig, and I would sacrifice my my Knights Errant to take care of that, but I didn't look closely enough at the angle, so his Wolf Riders got away. They bounced through the combat on the other side of the goblins, and now I'm just kind of stuck behind my guys where, I might win with my knights, but even then I can't march my Knights Errant to hit the Mangler Squig because that would take me through water, and you can't march through water. Meanwhile, if you look on the left, his character is fleeing, but he's alive right in the center of the table. And yeah, he whiffs his attack, so he does 1 wound. Like I said, it doesn't really matter either way. I was going to be steadfast. So the question is, can I roll an 8 or under? And I did. Obviously, I can't reform, so I'm just kind of wondering how long he's just going to hold me up here. And then, yeah, so I win combat against the Night Goblins. They break. I pursue them, and I can't catch them. I mean, look at that. I moved like 4 inches. That just really, really, really hurt. So now on my turn, I pretty much have to charge him. If he rolls a 9, he'll hit his rock lava and go off the table. I can redirect, and that's perfect. If he rolls less than 9, which is likely, he's not going to go off the table, and I'm just going to be in a bad position. So here's how it ended up. Look at the top right. He rolled not very high, I think a 4 or 5. For whatever reason, I didn't redirect into something else, such as his wolf chariot. My guess is I couldn't, for whatever reason, probably couldn't get around him. So I basically had to connect with his night goblins and then reform, which is just awful. I charged my battle standbearers unit at his wolf riders in the middle. They fled. I charged my paladin on the left at him because I wanted to push him where he is now, because I was thinking by them being there, that would stop his savage orc horde from being able to charge my general's unit. Once everything played out, I realized that's not going to quite work. I really can't avoid that charge, so I reformed in a way so he wouldn't get a flank charge on me. And if he charges in, he's going to just nick me. I mean, there's a lot of things I was going for here. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't be able to fit through my men-at-arms and the wolf riders, but it turns out he can. By like a millimeter, he can squeeze through there, wheel around, and then clip my unit. But at least I'm not getting attacked by all those savage orcs at least the first round of combat. Anyway, that's what's going on there. I pushed the men-at-arms forward as far as I could. The Knights Errant on the right, like I said, they couldn't march to touch the Mangler Squig, so I just brought them up so that next turn they can charge War Machine or do something of value. Yeah, there's that reform. That's just really discouraging. That's he's going to charge in. I won't be steadfast. That's going to be rough. There's the right. There's the middle. And yeah, so in the magic phase, I cast Curse of Anya here on his savage orcs. So at least if he charges in, he should lose, I don't know what the math is on that. He should lose a third of them to dangerous terrain, and then he will save a third of those. So at least it's something, but in the process, I miscast and blow up a bunch of knights. And here on the right, yeah, he couldn't push any wounds past my armor this round of combat. So then I just, I was able to do a couple wounds to his fast cav in the rear, 1 through static combat res, and so my thinking here was I'm going to pursue the boar boys because it gets me back into the fight, and I didn't think his troll horde could wheel around the house and get to me, but I rolled just high enough that he can wheel and clip me. Like, damn it. Damn it all. The only good news is his trolls need to roll fairly high. I think they need a 9 to get there. For this angle, it doesn't look like that, but it was something like that. So he needs a good long roll, but if he does, I'm probably in trouble. So, Orcs and Goblins turn 3 as Savage Orcs easily make the charge of my general's unit. His Mangler Squig pops through my general's unit, which really hurt, killed a few more knights. His Troll Horde charged my knights and did not make the 9 roll. So here's this one. This one really, I mean, you can see gosh, my unit's just been creamed by miscast and now Mangler Squig. He lost a few Savage Orcs. I think he lost 8, maybe 9, something like that. Not nearly as much as I'd hoped. And over here, so his chariot charges the rear of this unit, and like I said, the trolls fail, thank goodness. I think the trolls are far enough away from his general that they may not do much the rest of the game, and that's the only good news going on. His chariot's going to have a charge and a rear, so he has 3. I've got a banner and 2 ranks. I have 3. So if he does no wounds, I'll win by a musician. He's almost certainly going to do at least a wound. And then the question is, can I make an 8 or lower again on this unit, because I'm out of range of my general and my battle standard bearer. He rallies his character, so he's back here behind my lines. And what's going on here? Oh yeah, he moved his bunker with his. He put his level 1 and his battle standard bearer with him, and they just kind of moved up to give his Savage Orcs rerolls and stuff. And he didn't realize that he just gave me an easy charge with my men at arms. So during the magic phase, he hand of gorked them over, and I just let that go. I wasn't really that concerned about it. I might have charged him to get the points, but it's much more tempting for my men at arms to charge the Savage Orcs. Whether my general's there or not, I should be able to see them. It shouldn't be too far of a charge, and that's my best chance of beating those guys, is to charge the men at arms in and then change my level 2 into a mountain chimera or something like that. So yeah, so before the game, there was another player who was looking at my list, and he saw that I have a level 2 on foot with the transformation spell, and he said, what kind of situations would you ever actually use that spell? And I just had to laugh. Like, I use that spell all the time. I love that spell. So his Doom Divers scatter off. They only kill 1 Knight Errant. Over here, they finally killed the rest of the unit, and now his Rock Lobas can pick on my characters. By the way, I just had to snap a photo of all the knights that have been killed. Some of these were killed through a miscast, but pretty much all the rest are Doom Divers and Mangler Squigs. Kind of discouraging pulling that many knights at the table. Yeah, he did a wound or 2. I was steadfast on an 8. I failed. This lowly little wolf chariot charges, kills, beats, and runs down a whole unit of knights. That, my friends, was painful. Over here, he charges in. He's afraid to bring his general into the combat because he's got his level 4 on the other quarter. And so anywhere else he puts his general means that my general can attack him. So if he issues a challenge, my general will accept. If he doesn't, and issues with something else, my champion will accept the challenge. And either way, my general will allocate attacks on his general. I get to go first. I've got the Tress of Asul, so I'll be hitting on 2s, and a 6 is killing blow. So his general is out of the fight. He wasn't able to do many wounds because, again, he just clipped me. After combat, he reformed to slide down. So, yeah, I survived. It's as much as I could hope for. I'm going to countercharge with my men-at-arms. He's going to have a lot of attacks against the men-at-arms. We'll see how that goes. So, my men-at-arms countercharge. My paladin here at the bottom just moves to get in front of his character, so he can charge me, but he can't just get an easy charge against my trebuchet. Yeah, there's that. I did it in such a way that there's room for her to turn into a mountain chimera, so that's what we're hoping. Is that an obnoxiously long unit of men-at-arms? Yeah, this will be blocking. Yeah, my character is joining these guys. I still don't get a lookout, sir, but at least hits will be distributed. So that it'll help me against the Doom Divers. It won't help against the Rock Lobas, but Rock Lobas can scatter. Yeah, we go to the magic phase, and she turns into a Mountain Chimera. I was so excited. I love that spell. So this changes everything. 4d6 plus 1 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, a strength 4 breath weapon, and Thunderstomp. We are going to do more wounds than he does. The problem is he's got the Crown of Command. So he's probably going to stick around, but I might be able to hurt him badly enough to reduce his combat effectiveness and eventually win that. We'll see. I go ahead and waste a trebuchet on this Wolf Rider. I shoot it with Bowman first to get it down to a single wound, and I'm just tired of that thing, so I aim at it with my trebuchet and kill it. And after combat, look at that. They just go to town. Yeah, he's not able to push too many wounds through on my knights. I think because he was able to scoot down, he was able this turn to put his general into combat without touching my general. and his general just didn't do any wounds. So, I mean, my knights aren't doing a whole lot anyway. I win combat by a ton. He sticks. He did 3 wounds against my Mountain Chimera, so that's bad for me. On his phase, all he has to do is get rid of that spell. Needs to get a 16 minus his level 4, so he needs to roll a 12. So it should be pretty easy for him. It'll cost him his magic phase, but it'll kill my level 2. The best thing for me is if he could try to dispel it and fail, and oh, that would be awesome. So, Orcs and Goblins turn 4. Overall, it looks like that. His BSB with his goblins countercharge my unit, and they're hitting my level 4 prophetess. That's really bad. The only good news I have going for me is she has 3 wounds. They may not be able to get through all of them, but my guess is they can. The Mangler Squid comes popping through, and it kills. It's random at this point, but it hits. It barely clips the knight unit, hits the Savage Orcs, hit my men at arms. I think it only does a wound on my knights. Anyway, it killed some. Over here, he doesn't charge me. Instead, he moves his character around to face my other trebuchet. I'm just going to take my character and park him in front of him again. I'm just going to make him charge me. I don't know. At this point, the trebuchets aren't doing a whole lot for me. But I don't know. I have nothing else for that guy to do. He shoots at my Knights Errant down to a single knight. He does a wound on my Battle Standard Bearer. And after combat, it looks like that. I actually wasn't able to do... Or was this after magic? Either way, whatever. He dispels the Mountain Chimera, so I lose my level 2. And combat looks like that. Yeah, this is after combat. He was only able to do 2 wounds on my level 4. I felt I got pretty lucky there. She's just able to make a couple ward saves. Yeah, so looks like that. Every time he kills a knight, my general's able to slide down 1. And I think the next knight that dies will put my general to where I can get in combat with his general. What I've been doing ever since the first round, though, I'm issuing a challenge my general, so he's feeding me characters, and I'm just killing him. Like that's I think I had 1 champion to kill, and then I killed his level 1. I think he had like a Night Goblin or a level 1 Orc Shaman. Killed him. So, next is going to probably be either his BSB or his Shaman or his General. It's going to start to get into things he doesn't want to lose. Bretonnia turn 4. Yeah, so my 2 characters tried to charge a rock lava because what I wanted to do is win combat and then run off the table. They failed the charge. I moved to block this guy again. If I was smarter, I would have positioned myself so that if he charged me and won, he would run off the table instead of my trebuchet. But I wasn't. I just never occurred to me that he might win that. After combat, yeah, so we won really just through combat res this time. He was able to kill my level 4, so I have no magic left. But he broke, and his BSB died. His goblins ran through the rock lava off the table. He's down to like 1 Savage Orc, his general, and his level 4 Shaman. My general's attacking his general with everything he's got, and either I don't roll a 6 or I do roll a 6, but then he makes his ward save. Orcs and Goblins turn 5. You've probably forgotten about the Trolls. They're over here on Leadership 4, failing stupidity every turn. It's points denial, and that really hurts, because in this tournament, all that matters is killing stuff, and I can't get these points, 650 points thereabouts. But at least he's not wrecking my world. His character goes in and finally charges my Paladin. Yeah, shooting is able to hit my Battle Standard Bearer and kills it. My Lord level character's a champ. He's just making ward saves left and right. His Doom Diver that was down to 1 wound from my turn 1 trebuchet shot misfired, rolled a 3, so he can't shoot this turn or next, and you take a wound, and that killed it. So that was nice. After combat, yeah, my knights are dead. My general's still there, touching his general, and it's just all my men at arms. So I just need to kill a stupid general with that Crown of Command. I'd wipe these guys off the table. His character beats mine in combat, runs him down, overruns it to the trebuchet. This turn, this was such a waste of a Lord level character. All game long, he's done nothing. But he charges this rock lava just to protect himself. The other rock lava, I have nothing else to shoot my trebuchets at except this, so I shoot at this guy and kill it, get some points. After combat, yeah, I think his I think his shaman died. I don't know, whatever. We went through static combat res. He was stubborn but no reroll, and he failed it. So I pursued with my general, and I tried to restrain with my men-at-arms, but they failed and had to pursue, so they are like that. It doesn't really matter, but I was trying to keep him near the center of the table because I can get 1,000 points by being within 6 inches of that token. Yeah, his character easily kills my trebuchet. I easily kill his rock lava, run, get off the table. And then we go to turn 6, and really there's nothing else to do. I mean, the unit you see at the top left is not on the table. All he has is Horde, and they're kind of bouncing against that building. His shooting is ineffective. My turn, there's nothing I can do to get points, or things scatter off. So I just reform the men-at-arms to get within 6 inches of the middle of the table and call it at that. So in the end, I think I would have got 4,000 points out of a possible 5,000 because I killed most everything he had. But then I got the 500 for killing his general and the 1,000 for being at the center of the table, and that ended up being huge. So it ended up being a big win for the Bretonnians. I feel like I got really lucky at some parts there. Man, his Doom Divers are the bane of knights, and that was rough. And I'm really lucky that his trolls couldn't really do anything all game, because if he had that to throw into the fray, I would have been toast. So I felt that if I had to pick between these two lists, I would have chosen the Orc and Goblin list. Like I said, I think I just kind of got fortunate to win this game. So it made me question my Bretonnian, the wisdom of bringing Bretonnians to the Brawler Bash. That decision is still up in the air. But anyway, that was the game.